What you're asking about is what covenants run with the property. Some of them are as basic and mundane as maybe access rights, mineral rights, restrictions on views that you can't impede someone else's building envelope, things like that. But some are a little more unrelated to the value of the property, specifically racial covenants. And this was put into place, we figure, sometime in the 1920s and 1950s. People would put into these deeds that they would limit who could live at the property. They had to be people of the Caucasian race. The exceptions might be domestic servants or employees of the property owner. People were not talking specifically about these covenants. And I found, without exception, when I would point them out to my clients, everyone was shocked and surprised. They had not heard of these.
I first heard, actually at Race Matters' first event, a conversation about race in America. Somebody stood up and spoke about the fact that they had a racially restrictive language on their covenant or on their home deed in Atascadero. And that's when I had heard about the issue being relevant to the area. And also found out later that Atascadero was intentionally founded as a white colony, which is, shouldn't be surprising, but is also shocking to hear. And when I became connected with Jamie Lewis and heard about her, she had brought attention to the racist language in her home deed here in San Luis Obispo.
My husband and I used to walk past this house because we loved this street. And when we had the opportunity to buy in 2017, our realtor showed us, as we're going through our documents, she made a point of showing us the racially restrictive covenants that were written in 1940, even before our house was built in 1964. And so what she gave us was this very degraded, old typed up document. And there's things on there like, you can't have noxious fumes coming off your property, and you have to have a setback of so many feet from the sidewalk. And then just really casually, number 6 is no persons of any race other than the Caucasian race shall use or occupy any building or any lot, except that this covenant shall not prevent occupancy by domestic servants of a different race domiciled with an owner or tenant. So what's even more mortifying about that is that Donna then said, these are on houses all over San Luis Obispo, all over San Luis Obispo County. And it was not okay with us.
And we tried to hammer it down in the film and in the resource guide that striking the language or redacting the language from a covenant is certainly important, but that because the effects have lasted across the United States, including in San Luis Obispo, that we do ask when engaging with the film and with the resource guide that we look at forms of discrimination that persist and the lasting impacts, and think about how we can chip away at those as well.
This issue should be talked about. I wish it had been spoken about more openly when I was starting in the business 30 years ago, but at least we can start today. Real estate professionals should be talking about this with their clients. Clients should be talking about it and how they feel about how it impacts how welcome they feel to the properties they live in and own, and how it may affect the value of their property in the long term. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to affect the value of property. I haven't seen any studies on that. If it did, I think it would be a much greater topic. We would be talking about it much more.